He's like, will be known as their true wives in history because, like, yeah, the emperor's daughter that he marries, like, yeah, it makes me mad, but I'm just like, this is what is more important. It's like
the saving of a people. Like, I think he saw it as like, if I don't marry this person, like, it wouldn't certify my rule. And so many would die, and Chani would die. And I'm sure he saw that. He said there was many futures, many paths, with his hand.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if one of those paths he saw where he chose not to marry the emperor's daughter, and that path led to Chani's death or his mother's death or his sister's death. But the one path he saw was when he married her, and that's I 100%. Believe so why he married her.
Yeah. Welcome to the Point of View podcast. My name's Uyiosa.
And my name's Osatohamen.
And here we are today for another episode.
Yep, we're super excited to be here once again.
Yeah, so we are talking about Dune Part Two, not Part One. I guess the Dune Messiah movie is coming out in literally like a year and a half.
Woo!
Like they are taking their time with the series,
but as they should,
because it's a very complex and difficult book and series to kind of replicate. There have been other series that have been done in the 90s and the 60s that have not been as great. So I think they really want to take their time with these movies and hit the nail on the head.
I mean, Christopher Nolan knows that he wants it on the nail.
Oh, is he the director of this movie?
I thought he was.
I have no idea.
I might be wrong. I might be thinking of The Odyssey.
Oh, yeah. The Odyssey is coming out, though, next year, too.
No, I'm wrong.
Denis Villeneuve.
I thought it was Christopher Nolan for some reason.
That's why I was like, for a second, I was like, for real?
Well, then why is Tenet here as, like, recommended? Like,
I don't know. Maybe one of the actors are in it. Complex movies stick together, right?
Very interesting.
All the, like, most complicated movies. Tenet, Dune Part 2, Inception, like.
No, for real. Like, I think that this is such a complex movie. I think it's interesting because in order to understand Dune Part 1, obviously, you have to watch Dune Part 2. In order to understand Dune Part 2, you have to watch Dune Part 1. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes you say that, but it's like, oh, you can kind of, like, get it and everything. Like, sometimes I've watched the second part of a movie, and I'm able to figure out what's happening in the second part. Like, in the second part without watching the first part. But not this movie. Mm-mm. It is so, like Yosef was saying, so complex, so intricate. Things that, a little scene that happened here, you have to, like, be able to remember it. And so
you have to be locked in the whole movie, to be honest.
You do. It's not something that you can be doing a side task on. Like, you have to, like, eyes always on the movie. But this follows, and this is a bit of a spoiler if you haven't watched Dune Part 1, but this follows, like, the aftermath of Paul Atreides. He's, like, the main character. So his family had been given this calling by the emperor in the first movie to take over this continent called Arrakis. And it's basically where they make spices from. So the sand has spices, and so they produce spice. And this is like a very powerful commodity in this world, in this universe, I guess. So it's not just one world. It's this whole galaxy, basically. And so it used to be the Harkonnens were the first people that were over this, like, production. But for some reason out of nowhere, the emperor appoints them, the Atreides, to be over this. And then we find out it was all a scheme to, like, basically get rid of the Atreides line. And so the father is killed, and Paul Atreides, the son, and his mother, Jessica, are able to escape barely with their lives. And they escape, and they go to this place, and they meet these people called the Fremen. And the Fremen are these, wild
bandits.
Bandits. They live in the caves. They know the way of the desert. They're very, like, I don't know. The portrayal is very, there's a whole thing about that. But anyway, this follows the whole aftermath of this. And basically, Paul in this whole movie is trying to prove himself as this religious figure, the
Lisan al-Gaib.
Yeah, that Lisan al-Gaib, and the mom becomes this reverend mother, and it's very, like, manipulative. She's, like, trying to make sure that her son gets into this position because she knows that that's the way to protect him. And we learn that, we know that Paul has the power to see the future. And throughout this movie, it's kind of like fragments, but there's a turning point in it that he's able to fully see the full prophecy, to see what's going to be happening in the beginning. He's able to predict, he's able to know what happened in the past. And he's able to use this to rise up and become this great leader and lead the Fremen. And he is going to, hopefully unite the whole galaxy or this whole empire. And it's really interesting because it's kind of really hard to describe this movie without describing the first movie. I feel like the first movie is just so integral. But Paul's father was like his family was actually really close knit, which I feel like for like a noble family, that's really rare. Like even in this world, but in just any type of world or any book or movie setting, noble families are not normally close. No. And his family, like the mom, the father, they had like this love bond. They loved each other. They talked to each other. And then the mom and the son had this bond, and the son and the father had this bond. And it was just like this bond of family, and it was so beautiful, but it was almost just taken away overnight. Yeah. And we see that Paul is wrestling with this grief and with this calling of revenge, with this calling of his people, and like there's just so many things and so many directions, and like this prophecy here and this friend that comes back from the dead telling him you need to rise up and you need to get revenge. This is for House Atreides. Like it's so interesting. But I think what I love about this is that Paul is striving and doing his best to stay true to what he believes, not what his mom, not what his dad has said, or what these people are saying. Oh, I'm the wait, what is it?
Lisan al-Gaib.
Lisan al-Gaib. I can never say it correctly. He's not letting that, like, he's trying not to let that influence him. And, we'll see later in the third movie if it does influence him or not. Because I really didn't see it so much in this movie. I saw it more so as he finally had the full picture and he knew the right way to go, the right way to save everyone. But it's such an interesting movie.
I think kind of like you're saying, the first movie is very like fundamental for this movie. We see Leto's death, how it affects both the mom and Paul. And so Jessica, the mom's actually like pregnant in this movie with like the daughter, and like she's able to like basically speak to like her womb, and like the daughter knows what's happening like in like this like world. And like we see like a vision of like the sister as an adult. Like I think the sister's also able to tell the future. And so we see like Paul is basically wrestling kind of back and forth. At first, he wants to fit in with the Fremen people, and he proves himself, and things are great. And then his mom like drinks of like the blue like river drink.
They called it the worm piss.
Yeah, literally. I can't remember what the name was, but that was like the translation.
The water of life, I think is what they called it.
Yeah, like it had some weird name, as everything does in that movie. But like she becomes like their reverend mother. She becomes like their seer, their leader. And so she's basically like the character, what's his name?
Who?
The Glazer, what's his name?
Oh, starts with an S. What's his name?
Stilgar?
Yeah.
Stilgar is basically like the whole movie from like the second like Paul defeats the other guy that dies, like is from the Fremen people. He defeats Jamis and like Stilgar is like, oh, like this is the Lisan al-Gaib, and he's like literally glazing Paul's a whole movie.
He is literally the biggest glazer I've ever met.
He's like, I'll put my life on it. Like, dies our Lisan al-Gaib. Like
the scene that killed me was when after the Reverend Mother Lady Jessica, had taken the water of life with the blue liquid that is poison. After she had taken it and had lived, everyone was like, "Oh, he's the one. He's the Messiah.
He's like, he has a reverend mother.
Like it's all exactly as the prophecy said." And Paul is just trying to be real. He's like, "No, she's been trained for her whole life on how to take poison.
She's
like,
don't trust this."
Like, Stilgar literally turns back to his people. He's like, he's so humble, just like the prophecy said. They're like,
Bro, he's literally
I'm
glazing
like,
this man the
biggest
whole
glazer
movie.
the whole movie.
The entire movie. And it is just so funny. But, I mean, obviously besides that, Stilgar, I mean, he's real, though. I mean, he was right.
He was.
Like, he was right. But I think that this, like, legacy and this pressure, because we see Paul, him and Chani's relationship develops. They definitely fall into this, like, romance. And he's wrestling with kind of trying to be just like everybody else. But, like, his mother and Stilgar and all these other people that are dying in the South and in all these other places, basically showing that, like, if he doesn't step up to the cause, and more people will die. But then also he's seeing visions that if he does step up to the cause, and people will die. So he's, like, fighting back and forth, and Chani kind of just wants him, he's just like, just be like everybody else. Like, we're fine the way we are. And we see him kind of step into this role that he's never really wanted. It's this legacy of, like, being the Duke of Arrakis, the Lisan al-Gaib, Muad'Dib, like, the Emperor, all these different things that he never wanted. But we see him kind of he's forced into this role by his manipulative mother, who I really do like Jessica, because I understand what she's doing. But, I mean, obviously it's against Paul's wishes. But we see that
But she knew. Like, if you notice, the whole time, like, there was this, like, friction between the son and her because he had fragments of the future. Mm-hmm. But then once he also took the water of life, he understood, and they were on the same side.
Yeah, which, like, again, it brings up the question, like, is that a blessing or a curse to know the future? Because, I mean, later on, there are later things that happen in, like, the books that, like, aren't good because of actions that they took in this specific, like in Dune, like, because Dune's a book, obviously it's been 2 parts, and then Dune Messiah is, like, the second book, even though it's, like, the third movie. But I think it goes to show that, like, when leaders are forced into positions that they don't want to be in, I know, like, the saying, like, leaders aren't, like chosen. They're, or, like, no one that is, like,
no one chooses to be a leader. They're, like, chosen or born into it.
Yeah, like, you never choose. Yeah, it's something like if you're, those that don't want to lead are usually the ones that are best for it. Yeah. And so in this case it's true, but we see that he's almost forced into this legacy. And that, you know, veers off him and Chani's relationship, and his relationship with his mother becomes stronger, but, like, at what cost? And even in one of the scenes, he's saying to, like, his old trainer, he's saying, these people, you see them, they used to be my friends, now they're my followers. And he never wanted that. He never wanted this responsibility, this weight. He knew he was going to be the Duke of Arrakis, but this, being Muad'Dib, the Lisan al-Gaib, this is so much more.
It's different because as Duke, you can be personable, and he saw an example of his father being personable. Even the Emperor called that out. But as this Messiah to these people, a Messiah is always going to be raised up, a reverent person. Like, even you hear the mother, Reverend Mother. Like, you will never be a friend.
You'll never be like everybody else. Like, yes. You literally are never at their level.
But you know what I loved at the end of that? When everyone bowed down, but Chani, like, refused. And then the princess also, obviously did she? No, she didn't.
No, I don't think so. But she was technically, like, his betrothed.
Yeah, so the betrothed. But Chani also didn't. And I was like, I have so much respect for her after that. Yeah. Because she understood, but she was like, I don't like it, but you will not disrespect me. Mm-hmm. You will not disrespect me. So I will not be bowing down to you. And she, the whole time, like, even, like, when they're in that circle and they're supposed to be quiet, she's rising up and she's like, I don't care. And I love that. She's sticking with her opinions. And
Queen.
I think that goes into this whole idea of, does, like, the Fremen's belief in the prophecy, does this drive?
It's scary, honestly.
Yeah, like, it's really interesting because it's almost like this outsider. Normally outsiders is like, no. Like, they have hurt us. They've done so much to us. But, like, once they realized there was signs of this Lisan al-Gaib, it was like,
it was literally blind faith. Like, for Stilgar especially, and, like, the other people, and then other people started joining in. But, like, that initial first group that just had, like, they had no idea who this guy was. They had, like, had parts of a prophecy, and they're like, Lisan al-Gaib, like Madib, like you were everything to us. And I'm kind of like, again, like this is like 10,000 plus years in the future is when Dune takes place. But maybe like they've been waiting for this like prophecy, this like leader to rise, and they're so desperate, and it's like they just need something to hang on to. Because there's a scene where he's talking about like, oh, these people like all they have is like hope, because like we're in a time that like it's just so hopeless that it's like that's why they're clinging to literally some boy that fell out of the sky or wherever he came from, you know.
I mean, the whole time I was watching this movie, the similarities I got to Christianity was like extreme.
Oh yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, because in reality they say this Lisan al-Gaib, and you know some people were in disbelief, but the truth of the matter was he was the Lisan al-Gaib. He was able to see the future. He was able to tell the past. He was able to tell this person that his grandmother, when she was 12 years old, did this. Like, I mean, the guy wasn't even born.
Yeah, no.
He must have just heard that story from his family. Like, it was just like he was, you know, this Messiah. And so when we talk about, you know, our Messiah, when Jesus Christ is coming, it's almost like, oh, this was 2,000 years ago, or this is going to happen, and who knows when he's going to come again the second time. To others, it's like, oh, the Lisan al-Gaib, he's not real. But don't we go in with blind faith? Do we know the complete picture of God?
That's true, we don't.
We don't.
But I guess in our case, there are scriptures, there's Bibles of records, but these people are going
those people had, remember, back then, records were from word of mouth.
No, this is in the future.
What do you mean?
Dune takes place in the future.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, they're like, their records were like I don't even know if they had.
But they had prophecy. A prophecy means it happened in the past. They said they had prophecies of the Lisan al-Gaib.
Yeah, but so you're like reading this prophecy, and then like you see this guy, and you're like, oh, it has. And like,
I don't know if
in one of the scenes, like one of the ladies goes like, oh, again, like when like Stilgar was like, oh, like I'll bet my life that he's the one, and she's like, again, like, because I think like
no, he had said that before. When he said I'll bet my life, they just laughed at him. But they said again when he said, oh, I know this is the Lisan al-Gaib.
Like leading us to believe that there have been other people that potentially could have been the Lisan al-Gaib. So, like, I mean, I guess it is still blind faith, but it kind of.
I mean, like I'm saying, it's not completely Christianity, but I see the similarities where there's people that, you know, like to undermine this religious facet or this religious idea of this person that's come to save them. And the reality is, and how we believe it, God and Jesus Christ are going to come again, and the Lisan al-Gaib came again as well. And so I thought that was interesting, and I think the Freemen are interesting because it's like the Fremen, yeah, not Freemen.
Freemen.
No, that you're right, it's Fremen. Like that's how it's spelled, Fremen, not Freemen.
We're free.
I mean, they were trying to be free.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, but I think that it's really interesting with Paul too, like what I was talking about earlier, like with this prophecy and the Fremen and their whole ideas and like raising him up to this pedestal, he had to wrestle with this idea of who he was and his emotions and being this religious figure. And at first he didn't want to be it. He was like, he saw fragments of a future where Chani was dead, and it looked like he was following his mother into a crowd of just starvation. And it was like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, no. Who would?
I mean, I respect him so much because he knew he could have this power, but he didn't want that power in the sacrifice of so many people. And I think that's what makes him a great leader. And I'm pretty sure I've seen spoilers here and there, so I don't know the complete picture, but I'm almost certain that he was a great emperor because I know his children, like there's like other books written by the child of the person that wrote Dune, and that takes place like years, like 10,000 years later, and the line is like long from Paul. And so like he had to be a great man, and you know, for that line to, you know, stay and everything. And so I think that's what made him a great leader, and that's what made him different from the other emperor that was like treated people like pawn pieces, like, or, you know, chess pieces.
Yeah.
He was like, this person failed me, I kill them off. This person slightly is not bowing to my feet, kill them off. But Paul understood that people are people. And, you know, to the old emperor, he was weak, just like his father. But he knew that that was what made him strong.
Exactly. And I love that, you know, we see different, like, characters come into play. We see Chani, we see Jessica, we see Stilgar, these different characters that represent, like, different people that eventually do push him towards his decision to become, like, the emperor, to become this great duke over all of the worlds or whatever. And so I think one of the scenes that's, like, really important to me is when Chani, like, after he, like, drinks the blood of life thing, and then, like, Chani comes and, like, he almost dies, and, like Jessica, the mom, is like, oh, well, you have to save him, because, like, she's seen the prophecy, and she basically, like, slaps him and gets mad when he, like, gets up, and he's like, fine, and he's seen the future, and so he knows that, like, him and Chani will be together, that, like, no matter what, she'll come back, like.
I mean, in a way, he could have communicated with her a bit better.
Yeah, but also I
maybe they did in the books.
get, like, the whole, like not talking about the future, because then it messes up the present.
No. Like, he could have said, oh, this is my plan. All he said was, like, whatever happens, I want you to know I will always love you forever.
Yeah, but and also, like, why are you doing it in, like, a crowd? Like, I mean,
but
I guess
they
maybe
didn't have privacy. Like, they literally
didn't
just
have any,
like, captured the emperor.
Yeah,
so.
maybe that's why it was just such, like, because he knew this was gonna happen, but there was no way to communicate it to her.
Yeah.
But, like, I think an important scene is when Chani is, like, standing there and the mother is next to her, and, like, Paul had basically just proposed to, like, the emperor's daughter, and, like, Chani is like, what is going, she's like, what the heck, like, I literally am in love with you, you're like, I thought you were in love with me. And then the mother goes, like, she'll be like, we'll be known as, like, the true empresses in, like, history. Like, that scene is so important. And I don't like the whole, like, mistress.
Wait, what?
Like, the mom says, like, oh, we'll be known as, like, their true wives, like in his like in the records.
You're right, because the Paul's mom never married.
She's not the wife of Paul's father.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's why she had said to Chani,
and that's why she was. I feel like that's why she was more.
She was fighting for, like, Chani.
She was, like, very personable with Chani. Like, she was like, I came to wish you luck. Like, I wonder.
She understood.
She knew the future. Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, and that's, like, a crazy parallel to, like, how similar, like, Leto and, like, Paul's storylines were, almost, because they couldn't marry the people they loved, like, to save, like, the future, to save everyone from political alliances, whatever. But I love that scene when Jessica says to her, and she's like, we'll be known as their true wives in history, because, like, yeah, the emperor's daughter that he marries, like, yeah, it makes me mad, but I'm just like, this is what is more important. It's like
the saving of a people. Like, I think he saw it as, like, if I don't marry this person, like, it wouldn't certify my my rule, and so many would die, and Chani would die. And I'm sure he saw that. He said there was many futures, many paths, you know, with his hand.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if one of those paths he saw where he chose not to marry the emperor's daughter, and that path led to Chani's death, or his mother's death, or his sister's death. But the one path he saw was when he married her, and that's I 100%. Believe so why he married her.
Another thing I love in that scene, the fight scene in that like the ending scene, so good. But one of the things I love about that scene is when the old Reverend Mother of, like, the Bene Gesserit is, like, standing next to the Emperor, and, like, Paul is basically talking about how he's gonna get, like, all, like, the, like, 5 like worlds to come, and like we'll tell them about how you overthrew, like, House Atreides, and, like, the other Reverend Mother is basically like, think about what you're about to do, and Paul goes, like, silence,
and then she backs away.
She's, like, shaking and like,
what did she
on
say?
the ground.
She said,
she's like, Lisa on all guys, or did she?
No, she said, what's the word? Almost like this, like, it's wrong. Like, what he did was starts with B. What's that word?
Blasphemy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think she said that. Yeah, blasphemy.
Yeah, and I'm like, that scene is so good because it's a parallel from the first movie where they're doing like where he puts his hand in like the box and the pin to like show like
silence.
And he's like screaming from pain. She's like, silence. And I know he did that. He's like, oh, I gotta clock you back.
Clock
like,
her.
Try me, Reverend Mother. And also like he disrespected his mom too. Like don't play. Like so he ate her up in that scene. I was like, good.
And then like I love that the mom was like, she was talking in their heads to the
old Reverend Mother.
Yeah, the old Reverend Mother there, and she's like, you chose the wrong side, and she was like, there are no sides, and they end the conversation, but you could see the slight smirk in Lady
she's like,
Jessica's,
I got you now.
She was like, yeah, I got you now. Like she's like, you say that, but I know the future and I know where I am.
Yeah, she's like,
but it's interesting because she's a Reverend Mother too. Does she not know the futures?
I think, do all Reverend Mothers have to partake of the like water of life or whatever?
But she could also see the future, remember? That's why she was like, we have many prospects.
Maybe they had seen that specific future. Because remember, they thought Fade Rotha would defeat Paul Atreides. Mm-hmm. So that's why, like, they that was a possible future, but then I guess Paul defeating Fade Rotha had like disrupted that line, because if Fade Rotha had won, it would have been a different outcome, right? Yeah. They would have overtaken the Fremen and Spice, and everything would have gone the way they wanted. So there were possible futures. She just chose the wrong one.
And I wonder, like, in that scene, because Paul is smart. Like, even when Fade Rotha tried, like, you know, egging him on with, like, is this your pet and everything?
Yeah.
Like, you saw that he was trying to, like, make him lose control, but he didn't. And he knew the future. And so I wonder if that scene and the fact that he didn't let, what's his old teacher's name?
I don't know the guys.
His old teacher didn't let him, because he was like, let me fight for you. Like, let me fight for you. Mm-hmm. He didn't let him. I wonder if one of those futures,
he knew. Yeah.
He actually did lose.
And also, I think another thing was, like, the respect of it, because if he'd let someone else fight for him, then he knew that he wouldn't be the emperor that, like, everyone would have been like,
he would have been just like that emperor.
Muad'Dib, like, Lisa Gai. I love saying those names. Like, there's so much glaze. Like,
I think that something that came to my mind when I was watching this is, like, there's been this thought that's been going around in society now with, like, Hollywood and just all of this, where they make, like, people that are Middle Eastern background and everything, like the villains or the bad people. Mm-hmm. But in this movie, they portray them as, like,
the literal leaders,
like,
the
they
saviors.
Portray them as good. Like, they're not the enemies. They're the good people. Mm-hmm. And I love that, because it's not often that you see that in Hollywood. It's either like, oh, if you go to this terrorist place, they're gonna kill you, or like.
I like the names.
And it's diverse. It's cool. It was great. And you see that, like, they got people to play them that were actually, like, Middle Eastern and not, like, pale people, and then they, like, have, like, the because, like, Paul
Atreides is a very different name than, like, Chani, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you could tell they were definitely, like, cultural.
Yes.
And, like, Fade Rotha and Harkonnen, like, the names are very, like, diverse, like, kind of like our, like, world today.
Bro, the Harkonnen are
so creepy. I hate the uncle.
Oh, he's crazy.
I mean, Fade Rotha is, like, creepy, but at least he's, like, hot. Like, at least it's Austin Butler.
Like, our sister and I were talking about this today, and we're like, we don't know why people think this guy's hot in this movie. Like,
there's, like, one specific scene where he looks good. Mm-hmm. When he's,
maybe
like,
in that dark where he was, like, talking to the Bene Gesserit,
yeah, or whatever her name is.
And she's like, the bloodline's secure. And I'm like, girl, what?
It means, like, she's pregnant.
I know.
But, like, that means she assaulted him.
No, it means that after.
No, like, she, because remember they were saying, like, oh, he's, like, sexually vulnerable. That means, like, she was able to, like, manipulate him into sleeping with her to secure the bloodline. It wasn't a good thing.
No, I understood that as he is someone that lets.
No, that's, like, what happened in the book. Like that. I'm not making that. Like that's how it happened in the book.
Okay. If that's what happened in the book, that's fine.
That's why it's like also the Harkonnen culture is like really weird in the book. That's another reason I want to read the books.
No,
I've seen some stuff on like TikTok.
I was telling Yosa I have to read the book, and she was judging me, but I'm like,
I'm not even judging you. I'm just scared for you. The stuff you're gonna find out.
But I mean, the Harkonnen are bad, but there's just so much in history, real life history, that's just as bad.
Yeah, I'll read I'll read an encyclopedia before I read Dune.
Bro, remember when Mom like wanted us to like read the dictionary, like all the smart kids that did the spelling bee? I remember they got me this dictionary and they were like, read it, and I like barely got past page 2. Like it was not happening.
In their right mind
people do it.
I know what I'm saying. Who thinks an 8-year-old kid or how
they do it?
Even now, I wouldn't read a dictionary. You would have you'd have to pay me to pick that book up.
Like I think the only if I'm trying to learn like a different language, I think that's the only time like I would say, okay, let me.
And it's not a dictionary isn't a book, or it's not like a story book. It's like just so words. Boring. It's like
so boring.
Alpha, beta, like it's
alpha, beta is crazy.
Alphabetical, or like it's just literally going down the list of. It's so boring.
It really is. So another thing that I was thinking about when we were talking about doing this movie was how there's this like power changes people, and it's this. I feel like there's this thing where they are almost trying to make it seem or make us question: has Paul changed? Mm-hmm. Is he different? You know, he came from this timid boy to this man that is rising above and is like shouting. Like, oh,
Paul, my diva treaty.
Like, we're starting this resistance, because it is the resistance. And it almost makes people think, like, has he changed? But in my mind, I don't think he's changed.
I don't think he's changed. I think he's just more aware. Which, again, the future he's seen the future. But I think he's just more aware of what could happen if he doesn't make these choices versus like the half truths he was getting from his prophecies, but now he's seen it. He said, I've seen the future. I've seen it. I know what's going to happen. Like, so I have to make these choices just to secure and protect, the world or the universe, whatever.
It also just has been coming to my mind. It's interesting because in all these movies you can just see parallels to real life. Like what happened with like Dune Part 2, especially, like honestly reminds me of what's happening in like Gaza and Israel. Think about it, right? Like Israel's whole thing is they want this land, and so they're doing every means possible to like get rid of these people. And the Harkonnens wanted this land for their spice. And so they're doing everything possible to get rid of these people.
Call them rats.
Is that not similar to what the people called the people in Gaza? And so it's really interesting because, you look at sci-fi. And honestly, like, I may have said this when we talked about another show or movie in this podcast. But I stopped reading sci-fi when I was in 7th grade, I believe. Because it was 8th grade. It was because when I saw it, when I was reading it, I was like, this could happen.
Yeah.
This is reality. And the more I read about this science fiction and these superheroes, I'm like, this is happening. This is the real world. People are suffering. There's a genocide going on in the big 2025. And it's eye-opening and it scares me, and that's why I struggled for many years to read sci-fi. I was like, why do I want we talked about this.
It gets a little real.
It does. It gets too real. I read for romance. I read for the fake. I don't read for the real.
Like, even the Hunger Games, as great as it is, it's like that could be a reality. Like, yeah, and like the leaders of the world can make it happen, and you wouldn't be able to do anything about it.
I saw a TikTok comment where someone said that the beginning of The Handmaid's Tale, that they started out taking over DC. Do you know what's happening right now?
Yikes. DC is like a militarized zone now.
Like, that is scary.
That's terrifying.
Like, the parallels to sci-fi.
I think I saw it too, but I can't remember.
Yeah, like, I'm just like, wow.
That is insane. I think the Fremen also kind of like represent like the underdogs, and then like the Harkonnen are like these people like overlording, and then the Bene Gesserit are almost the people pulling the strings from behind.
The wealthy.
Yeah, they're the people you don't even see. The Bene Gesserit, I mean, it's great. Yeah, Jessica's technically on the good side, but she's manipulated Paul and Stilgar and all these people to her side to play out the future that she wants. And we see the other Reverend Mother is using the Emperor and Fade Roth and all these people. And it's like the fight isn't even between like Fade Roth and Paul. They wouldn't even be there if it weren't even for the Bene Gesserit. So they're literally running the show. And then the Dune spin-off show that takes place way before Dune, what's it called? Like the Dune something. It's on HBO Max. But we see that that's like when the Bene Gesserit start, and even from then, 10,000 years before, the Bene Gesserit are still like, they are literally the beginning of how this like world and prophecy play out. They're still pulling the strings from maybe the beginning of when the world had ended and technology had failed and this new Dune world came about.
But they still had technology.
They have like technology, but like if you notice, the technology is not like they don't have like AI devices. Yeah. Like their technology is almost archaic. So in that
Dune show, it was more. It wasn't archaic.
No, it was. It's like in 10,000 years they haven't changed their technology. Like there's a scene
because you know why? Because
technology had taken over. There was like a war, like in that show, there was like a war between technology and people, because technology had like basically taken over. And there was a scene where a little boy had this like one of those like technology toys, like a robot spider, and like it was like running around and someone like crushed it, and they were almost about to kill the boy over like the toy, because technology is forbidden. And back then, like the war had only been a couple like 100 years ago, but in like Paul's time, it's way past. It's like it's hard to explain, but their technology is like, it's almost archaic but advanced. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they don't have an iPhone, but they don't have like they kind of have like walkie-talkies. It's like this weird like.
Yeah, you're right. Like I noticed archaic. It like there's some things that are really advanced. Like even like when they're trying to see like the Harkonnens, when they were noticing their landmines or their spice fields and everything getting like taken off, like that whole map thing is very technologically advanced. But then sometimes like they'll use really old
like
things.
It's a very like different way.
Maybe I need to watch this show.
I stopped it.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't that good.
Yeah,
was it based off of books or was it just interpretation?
I have no idea. I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't really like the storyline where it was going. Maybe I'll finish it. Maybe I'll just rewatch like everything when Dune Messiah comes out, just to stay in the know. But I don't know. Personally, didn't like it. And maybe it's a good show if I rewatch it.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I mean, I guess that's all we have. I wish we could talk. We literally talk for hours about this movie.
So good.
I could be like we can even do the first movie. Like I could yap about it when Dune Messiah comes out. I'll yap about it. But
stay tuned for an episode on that.
Yeah, for sure. Such a good series, good book series. Probably won't read it anytime soon, but I can respect good writing and a good storyline being developed, because it's very rare nowadays. Because writing's not easy.
No, it's not. It's
not easy. Everyone wants to be an author, but not everyone can be. No. It's like everyone wants to be a singer, but some people are meant to be listeners. But just if you made it through this entire video, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, give this video a like. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on push notifications. We post every other Monday. Make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram and Pinterest so you can see our videos and photos and clips and all the things we do. And if you're listening to this on any of the platforms, make sure to give us a 5-star review. And make sure to leave comments in this video and in our clips on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever. I love to talk to you guys. And we'll see you guys next week.
Okay. Bye.